The BJP-led Uttar Pradesh government announced several curbs on the motivated use of caste the other day. The curbs include, ban on using caste identity for political purposes, then ban on use of caste for gaining hegemony in the society, ban on, creating trouble in the society with the use of caste identity, displaying one's caste on one's vehicles, so many other areas where there is a conflict with the national interest. Some people are really surprised at this welcome move of Uttar Pradesh government. Many people would expect governments from Kerala or Tamil Nadu to make such announcements because those governments are often considered as progressive and which want to build an egalitarian society. Uttar Pradesh is often despised or looked down as a caste-ridden society. And surprisingly, the movement against misuse of caste came from the part of Bharatiya Janata Party. So this people are wonderstruck. Many so-called progressive people are in a dilemma whether to oppose it. They can't accept that because that was announced by Yogi Adityanath, who is often considered as an epitome of, Hindutva movement, literally and figuratively. But of course, Congress has come out with opposition to that. But again, I feel like that it is half-hearted because the Congress itself knows that. There is an inherent flaw in opposing somebody who opposes caste because this identity is being used to bring about inequalities in the society. So this is the situation. Actually, it was the rise of caste under the veil of identity politics that, removed the relevance of the Congress from Uttar Pradesh politics. The Congress at that point of time lacked political intuition or acumen to fight against such casteist, groups or hegemonistic aspirations of caste groups. Now the BJP has done it, and that too by a saffron-clad saint who is the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh. So let us take a closer look into the emerging political optics in Uttar Pradesh. Welcome to Insights. I am Hari Kumar. As I said in the beginning, the other day, UP government issued an order to all district magistrates in Uttar Pradesh to prevent the misuse of caste in the public sphere. Uttar Pradesh saw the rise of caste-based political parties by mid-80s. Then it was hailed as an assertion of the depressed classes, an assertion of the deprived groups, an assertion of the economically and socially weaker sections. But actually that was not the truth. Often truth was misinterpreted. It was and slanted narratives were created just to serve the political or vested interests of certain groups. Kanshiram was the first person to use that caste identity. Of course, he clocked it in progressive ideology. Then came, the Samajwadi Party with the Yadava combination. Kanshiram was mobilizing Dalits. Then there was OBC party. Then came other parties. Even now when BJP is ruling Uttar Pradesh, they have with them parties like Nishad Party. Then Apnadal is there. They have got a union minister also. And basically these parties represents one caste. Apnadal represents Kurmi. Nishad Party represents Nishad, an OBC group in UP. Then of course everybody knows that Samajwadi Party, though they claim to have socialist moorings, actually they represent the Yadava community in Uttar Pradesh. Similarly, in Bihar also, RJD, Rashtriya Janata Dal of Lalu Prasad Yadav represents Yadav caste in Bihar. So this is the situation. Now it's true that till that point of time, Brahmins used to call the shots in UP, and to a certain extent, I think Kshatriya, Rajputs, Thakurs, whatever you call, they also used to have immense influence in Uttar Pradesh politics. But with the rise of identity politics of backward communities, their influence waned, and of course, I think now it is almost impossible for anybody from Brahmin community to become a chief minister in any of the North Indian states. I am not seeing anybody from Brahmin community becoming a chief minister in UP, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, or anywhere else in the north. So that changed the social, you know, equilibrium. But at the same time, if you ask me whether the rise of identity politics resulted in the creation of an egalitarian society, that is wrong. It just displaced the hierarchy. It replaced one caste with another caste. What is the use of that? If you, you know, do some social engineering, you will have to, you are supposed to iron out differences in the society. If your aim is to end discrimination, because all these political groups who used caste identity, for example, Mayavati, then or Mulayam Singh Yadav, they all claimed to bring about to social equality. They all promised that the society will be egalitarian, but it was not that happened. It was just they replaced one group with their own caste. That's it. And while BSP used to claim that they represent the Dalits, it was actually, they were actually representing one group of Dalits. I think it was Jatavas. So this is the situation. Even in India, Dalits or OBCs or upper caste or any other community, in that case even Muslims are not a homogeneous group. So such fallacies should be removed, and it is high time, because it's on the basis of such fallacy that certain people implement their own vested interest. So now in Uttar Pradesh, I think Yogi Adityanath has taken a very bold step. Now I don't know how this is going to, impact the UP politics. I am even not sure whether the BJP itself will be able to implement this in letter and spirit, or this, I don't know whether it will become a token announcement. Let's see how it is going to progress. But when I think about this announcement of Yogi Adityanath, actually the Congress should have done that in 80s. If they had done that, the Congress would have remained a force to reckon with in all North Indian states. But they failed. Instead of that, now Rahul Gandhi is trying to take up caste politics. He wants caste census. He wants caste riots. Often his words could be interpreted like, dog whistling for caste conflicts. So this is actually, I'm sure Congress is not going to get saved by this. Actually, Congress should try to obliterate caste differences from the society. In 80s, Congress had strong presence across states. Congress had strong presence across castes. So, if they had fought against caste, it would have actually helped them. But instead of that, they were perplexed. They were petrified at the new development. And they didn't do anything. And a result was those who practiced caste politics gained upper hand. Congress lost their Dalit votes, and BJP gained the upper caste votes. Samajwadi Party gained OBC votes. So Congress just dissipated. Now this is why all this happened. I think it happened because Leadership was just confined to one family who lacked any knowledge of reality. They never had an ear to the ground. So that could be the reason. So look at Yogi Adityanath. He has taken a futuristic step, and I am sure that perhaps it may be very difficult for him to implement it now, but in case if he persists with this move, I am sure slowly he will bring about another social engineering. Let's see how he will be able to implement his own promise, his own ideology, whether he has got the organization set up, whether he has got the mechanisms propaganda wing to carry out this. Meet you again with updates. Till then, goodbye.